What's going on, guys? Mark here, the world's strongest man, and I'll be playing Ronnie Ferris in the movie The Weight. Go to WeFunder.com/The Weight Film LLC. That way you not only can support the movie, but you can get a return off of your investment. The Weight is going to change the way weightlifting is viewed forever. That son of a bitch walked up to me in Atlanta and told me to stop complaining about the drugs because I'm going to get the sport kicked out of the Olympics.
By all accounts, if this was in anything else, this man would be handcuffed and thrown in jail for life. And are you talking 92 or 96?
I'm talking 92.
Okay. Who was, where you were 10th.
Where I was 10th was...
Who was 1, 2, and 3 at that time? Oh, Razazadeh was...
No, Alajide was after. I never competed against him.
Okay.
It was Ukrainian. He competed for Russia, but
Chmerkin?
Andre Chmerkin. And those guys, it was a bunch of them that were really, really good.
Ronnie Weller, the German.
Yeah, and Manfred Nerlinger.
And so here's the thing. Like you said, 33% was the winner. Yeah. But if you were to dial in, like what were your lifts in 92? What were the top lifts in both?
You know what? I can't put my finger on exactly what that number was right now.
But you had much more to give.
But I still had a lot to learn.
Yes. So here's what I would say. Best possible Mark Henry. And let's say best possible Chmerkin. That's where the drugs can add 10%.
Yes.
So 33%, but you trained for 10 months.
Right.
Right? So generally, that's where I was getting at is like... We kind of went off a little bit here on the tangents, but the 10% in weightlifting is like very common. And 10%, it's not just like, that's if you do your best, right?
Right.
But that gives you leeway to have a 3 for 6, a 4 for 6 meet, a 2 for 6 meet, and still be able to medal and still be able to even win in certain cases. That's where it sucks. That's where I totally understand. And look, we can bitch about it all we want, but it is what it is, and it was what it was.
I want you to wrap your brain around this. I quit weightlifting after 96. I was still in my mid-20s. I was able to snatch 182.5. I was able to clean and jerk 222. And that's a hell of a standard. Today, it's a good standard. What if I had lifted for 10 more years and got into my grown man strength, is what Terry Ty used to call it. 30 years old, 35. That's where Mario Martinez was teaching me. He was 35. So, and I say that about powerlifting. I would have squatted 1,100, I think. I would have deadlifted 925. I was the worst bench. I came in dead last in the bench in powerlifting in every weightlifting competition I went to because, 580 is nothing at the world level. It's nothing. There were guys in the 181s that could beat me in the bench. So wow. I wasn't embarrassed about it. But my subtotal, and then I knew when the deadlift came, it was over. So, but strongman, you could be 35 and still be great. 40 years old, you could be great.
The problem is the professional eating, the professional drug taking, the stress.
Yeah, I mean, it's rough. Like I complained about it. Complaining about it didn't help. Only now in Olympic weightlifting, all the work that people like Ursula Garza have done to help clean the sport up. Like I wish that I'd have had people like Ursula at the top of the game when I was competing. I probably would still be. I still would have lifted. I would have kept lifting. But Tomas Ion, that son of a bitch, walked up to me in Atlanta and told me to stop complaining about the drugs because I'm going to get the sport kicked out of the Olympics. He's it's going to be my fault. That's what he walked up and told. Imagine if somebody walked up.
I have chills with anger right now.
Yeah. Imagine why. That's why
Mark,
I quit.
You have no idea the level of ridicule I have given the IWF and Thomas Ion over the past 2, 3, 4 years.
We never talked about that.
Man,
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm going to let loose right now because that just boils my blood.
It was going to be my fault.
What a flaming piece of shit man is.
I was 22 years old, and he tried to put the failure of the sport on me. Complaining.
I've heard
clean the sport to make people not take drugs.
I have 2 instances of Thomas Ion that hasn't been reported. Mind you, there are still millions of dollars missing. Mind you, still. And we're never going to, the IWF is never going to get that back. He paid officials in different countries to vote for him so he could be the president again. He allowed bribes to transfer athletes from one country to another. He allowed athletes to compete after being banned. Every bit of corruption was exposed by a third party. The McLaren report was an in-depth report from a third party that came in and said, by all accounts, if this was in anything else, this man would be handcuffed and thrown in jail for life. Okay?
So and that whole deal was Alexander Kolovich that I competed against in Atlanta. He got kicked out of the games. He got the death penalty the year before, 2 years before. Yeah. And then he came back stronger than he was before he left. That's because he didn't get drug tested for 2 years.
I got to be honest with you. This is nothing new, bro. Look, coming back after a ban stronger, that's what we do in weightlifting, baby. You
so good.
You got popped for stanazolol as a junior, right? You come back and all of a sudden you're snatching more than you ever have before. You're clean and jerking more than ever before. But that's because you got this new natty status that it's all bullshit. We all know it's bullshit. But look,
man, just
okay,
we can't change it,
of course.
But you know what? I'm a fan of weightlifting again. You know why? Because I see American faces at the top. Because they are finally doing better with the drug testing. And I'm optimistic. And I could be a fan. I can't even tell you. I know I didn't watch the last Olympics in lifting. I didn't watch. Just bitter. And then when I found out how good everybody was doing and how many changes they've made, I got back into it.
I have to just slightly burst your bubble. It's not as good as you think it is as far as drug testing and leveling and things like that. There's still a lot of... It's really laziness. WADA doesn't do their job compared to like an organization like USADA. And a lot of these numbers are still going up from guys who are supposed to be natural, beating the shit out of guys. You know, there's a junior 109 snatching 190 at 19 years old. Random kid in Ukraine.